Hello students. So far under basics of management, we discussed about what is management, functions of management, different types of partnerships. So these are the things we discussed so far. In today's class, we will discuss about planning. Under planning, so these are the topics we are going to discuss. One is planning, objectives of planning, organization, organization structure, types of organization, line organization, advantages and disadvantages of line organization. So these are the things we are going to discuss in our today's class. First we will see what is planning. Planning is the process of thinking before doing any jobs. So planning is the process of thinking before doing any jobs. So it is a process of thinking before doing any jobs. So what according to Kuntz and O'Donnell? So they say a planning is an intellectual process, the conscious determination of the courses of action basing of decisions on purpose, facts and considered estimates. So according to Kuntz and O'Donnell, planning is an intellectual process where the determination of courses of action by considering the purpose, facts and estimates. So what is planning according to Kuntz and O'Donnell? According to Kuntz and O'Donnell, ಸೊ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಎಸ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ಸ್ಗಳ ಆಧಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಇಂಟೆಲೆಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ರೆಫರ್ಡ್ ಟು ಆಸ್ ಡಿಸೈಡಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಟು ಡೂ, ವೆನ್ ಟು ಡೂ, ವೇರ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಅಂಡ್ ಹೂ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಇಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಟ್ರಾ. ಸೊ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ರೆಫರ್ಡ್ ಟು ಆಸ್ deciding in advance what to do, when to do, where to do and who has to do. So these are the things, so that should be decided in advance. So this is also called as planning. So again it is an intellectual process where it requires a skilled and experienced manager to think before doing any jobs. Since planning is thinking before doing any jobs, so therefore it requires a skilled and experienced manager. ಸೊ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗು ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮೊದಲೇ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಯಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಒಂದು ನುರಿತ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಡ್ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಅನುಭವ ಉಳ್ಳಂತಹ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರ್ನ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್. ನೌ ವಿಲ್ ಸಿ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್ನ ಧ್ಯೇಯೋದ್ದೇಶಗಳೇನು? ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ ಟು ಫೋರ್ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ದ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಕೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್. ಸೊ ಮುಂದೆ ಬೇಕಾಗುವಂತಹ ನಡೆಯಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಕಾರ್ಯವಿಧಾನಗಳನ್ನು ಸೊ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಟು ಯುಟಿಲೈಸ್ ದ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಲಿ, ಟು ಯುಟಿಲೈಸ್ ದ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಲಿ. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲಗಳನ್ನು ಪರಿಣಾಮಕಾರಿಯಾಗಿ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸೋದು ಕೂಡ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್ನ ಧ್ಯೇಯೋದ್ದೇಶಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು. To adjust for changes and uncertainties. So if there is any changes or uncertainties, so you should be in a position to adjust for changes and uncertainties by adjusting to the changes and uncertainties. So this is also one of the objective of planning. To take correct decisions, to avoid bottlenecks in production. So what is avoid bottlenecks in production? So if any deficiency is there, so that deficiency should be avoided. So these types of these are the things which comes under objectives of planning. Number one, to forecast the future courses of action. Number two, to utilize the resources effectively. Number three, to adjust for changes and uncertainties. Number four, to take correct decisions. And number five, to avoid bottlenecks in production. So these are the objectives of planning. Next is organization. What is an organization? An organization is process of identifying and grouping work to be performed, defining and delegating responsibility and authority, and establishing relationships for the purpose of enabling people to work most effectively together in accomplishing objectives. What is this organization? Organization is the process of identifying and grouping. So what is that? Identifying of work and grouping of work to be performed. At the same time, organization is the process of identifying and grouping the work to be performed, defining, delegating the responsibility. So there may be a lot of workers. So for that workers, you have to define what is the work they have to do. You have to delegate the responsibility. What is the responsibility they have to take? So what are the authorities for them? And at the same time, to establish relationship for the purpose of enabling work effectively. So organization is also establishing a relationship among the worker so that to accomplish a objective. We might have a name to accomplish to reach that aim. So we are establishing a relationship among the workers. At the same time, the delegation of responsibility, authority, grouping of work and identifying work. So this process is called as organization. Organization can also be defined as the creation of relationship among persons and work so that it may be carried on in a better and efficient way. Organization is also defined as creation of relationship among persons. Who are the persons? The workers. So creating a relationship among the workers to carry out the work in a efficient way. Why we are creating a relationship? To carry out the work in a better and efficient way. So therefore organization can also be defined as creating a relationship among workers to carry on the work in a better and efficient way. ಒಂದು ಸರಳವಾದ ಸುಲಲಿತವಾದ ವರ್ಕನ್ನು ನಡೆಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ನ ವರ್ಕರ್ಸ್ಗಳ ನಡುವೆ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್. Now we'll see organization structure. Organization structure means it is a systematic arrangement. It is the systematic arrangement of what? People working for the organization. So many people are working for the organization. The systematic arrangement of workers for the organization and their position, relationship between different workers, the systematic arrangement of people working for the organization, their position and their relationship between their positions is called as organization structure. What is organization structure? It is a systematic arrangement of people working for the organization, their positions and relations. What is this structure provides? This structure provides an appropriate authority and responsibility relationship. What is this structure provides? It is an appropriate authority to the workers and the responsibility relationship. So how they relate to, for example, how a general manager is related to works manager, how a works manager is related to foreman, or how a foreman is related to workers. So these type of responsibility relationship, a systematic arrangement of people working in the organization is called as organization structure. So now we'll see what are the different types of organization. So under that, first one is line and scalar organization. Second one is functional organization. Third one is line and staff organization. So these are the three types of organization. Now we'll discuss one by one. First is line organization. So line organization, this type of organization is called as line organization. It is also known as scalar or military type of organization. So why this organization is called as scalar organization? Because the responsibility moves in a downward direction, in a vertically downward direction, in a single direction. So that is what is called as a scalar organization. So a discipline will be there because general manager is ordering to his subordinate. He may be works manager. The works manager is supplying the responsibility to his immediate lower authority. So therefore, so a disciplinary type of organization is this. So that is why this organization or line organization is also called as a military type of organization. The top level in this organization, the top level management or general manager passes the orders and instructions. Who is passing the orders and instructions? The general manager is passing the instructions and orders. In this type of organization, as we discussed so far, flow of authority moves from top to bottom in vertical lines. Therefore, it is called as line organization. Now, as the organization is in military discipline, it is also known as military type of organization. Yeah, we discussed earlier. So, it will be a disciplinary organization. That is what is called as a military type of organization. So, this is the structure of a line organization. You can see at the top, general manager. So, he is passing the order to the production manager. From him, the work is distributed among two superintendents, such as superintendent 1 and superintendent 2. So, from superintendent 1, again the work is distributed among foremen. From foremen, the work is distributed to workers. You can clearly observe the responsibility is moving in a vertically downward direction. So therefore, and in a single direction. So therefore, this organization is called as line organization as well as a scalar organization. Now we'll see advantages of line organization. So it is a simple type of organization. It is flexible, easy to expand and contract. So the number of workers can be increased, and at the same time the number of workers can be decreased. So therefore it is flexible, clear ideas and communication and no confusions, because the responsibility moves from top to bottom. So there will be clear ideas and communication. There will not be any confusions. Strong in discipline. Yeah, this is a military type of organization. So naturally the discipline will be strong. It is simple to understand. It permits quick decisions. This organization permits quick decision. Work can be allotted to the different workers on the basis of their capability. The work can be allotted to different workers on the basis of their capability. Faults can be minimized and quickly identified as the responsibility is fixed to individual workers. In this type of organization, the faults can be minimized and it can be quickly identified as the responsibility is fixed to individual workers. So these are the different advantages of line organization. Now we will see disadvantages of line organization. So this is not suitable for large scale organization. So that means it will be a it is suitable for only small scale organization. It is not suitable for large scale organization. Only the limited goals can be achieved in line organization. Key persons in organization may get overloading effect. Key persons in the organization will get overloading effect. So sometimes the overloading, the key persons may feel that they have got overload of work. The chances of wastage of materials, labors and accidents of more because lack of knowledge, because all the work will be done by one man only. Workers will be shortage in knowledge, therefore chances of accidents, wastage of materials and wastage of labors will be there in line organization. Even though good workers identified in the organization, they will not be get any reward. So in this type of line organization, even the workers are working properly. So even though they are good workers, so they will not be identified. So they don't get any reward. So this is the disadvantage of line organization. So these are the 5 disadvantages of line organization. Yes, students. So this is our today's topic. So we discussed about different things in today's topic. So that is what is planning, objectives of planning, then types of organization, what is organization structure. So what are the different types of organization? So what is line organization? Advantages and disadvantages of line organization. So these are the things we discussed in our today's class. So some multiple choice questions is also there. Go